trash bin talk.
Hello, everybody. My name is RaccoonBroVA, and welcome to a very special new series for the channel. This is Trash Picks Talk. We are all here gathered up to talk about our favorite trash matchups for a trash show like Death Battle. And this actually is a little impromptu. We came up with this idea like a couple days ago, and we're just now.
It was literally yesterday.
Yeah, was it yesterday? Nice.
Yes, it was.
If I knew this was about trash, I would have sent different matchups.
I think it came up with me predicting that Ash versus Yugi would be the finale to Death Battle 25, and then it eventually led to me arguing that Luigi versus Pac-Man could be this year's Halloween episode.
Right.
Yeah, and then it was just while I was making lunch, I just had the thought, what if we were just do a trash bin talk and just talk about matchups we all like or something?
So we all agreed, and here we are.
But this ain't your. Yeah, Steve was just added to this group chat like moments ago, literally.
I want to be part of more secret societies, man.
But this ain't your normal trash bin talk. No, this is your trash picks talk. And so we figured it would be fitting to start it off with the pick that got this whole ball rolling.
And type into the comments what matchups you think we should talk about for the next episode, where we will slander your trash picks.
Yay!
Talk about them.
Yeah.
Now, I think a couple of ground rules just to make sure things are somewhat organized here. When we're talking about each of the matchups, I think it would be best to focus on just the matchup itself. Let's if anybody has ideas for alternates, we can just save that for another topic. We're just gonna go into what the matchup itself provides to the table, what we can expect for the animation, how the dynamic would go, what the connections are that make it thematic, and what it means to you personally. I feel like that's the most fair way to go about it. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That works for me.
Totally makes sense.
All right.
I'm okay with it.
So, Luigi versus Pac-Man. This one was suggested by a few people. Who would like to get us started on this one?
I'll go first.
Sounds good.
All right, so Luigi versus Pac Guy. So this matchup is very beloved by multiple people, mostly me because one, I think this is Luigi's best matchup, and I think it's way more thematic than people realize it to be. This fight can literally start off from them trying to, start as player one, and they have to fight over who's going to be player two.
It's like a regular show episode.
Pretty much. As for fight potential and stuff, it could go off pretty well. I could see their power-ups with Pac-Man's berries and Luigi's power-ups, say Fire Flower, Ice Flowers, or just many other stuff. And after all, this is just my opinion, but I just think Luigi deserves the run back out of everybody, considering how he was done in Luigi versus Tails. And this is one of my most wanted Mario matchups, considering Luigi's one of my favorite Mario characters. And I'm already depicting the climax sort of the fight is where Pac-Man turns into a giant. Well, he turns a Planet Pac, which as I've heard is a power-up he has in this game, and then Luigi can either use the golden flower and turn silver, even though it's gold, and literally fire at Pac-Man, turning him to a giant coin. Or Luigi can use the Mega Mushroom to have a giant battle between Planet Pac-Man and Giant Luigi. That's my overall thoughts. I really love this matchup, and I hope it becomes... as for, animation potential, I think either sprite or, hand-drawn would be probably the best, just to show off their wide variety of powers.
Yeah, sprites would probably be ideal, especially if you want to go for the old school arcade aesthetic, and then maybe have it evolve as the powers get crazier. Maybe even having it transition into a 3D environment to showcase Pac-Man's transformation into the platforming genre.
Yeah, transitioning from Luigi's mansion to Pac-Man's Pac-Man maze to soon later go even far beyond the fight, saying in space or something, so that way they can work in the Planet Pac-Man type of ordeal.
I
And
think it would be I think that a really fun start would be that when like they first encounter each other, it's Luigi versus the classic pizza Pac-Man design, like from the original arcade. But then Luigi finds a workaround, gets a solid hit, and then he becomes the more modern Pac-Man design, like what we see in the thumbnail. Maybe using his Super Smash Flash 2 sprites. Like if they get permission.
Ooh.
I've always had like the funny idea.
Since
that,
when has
like,
permission ever stopped Death Battle in the past?
I mean,
they have given-
where else do they
they
get
have-
permission to use like Hit's SSF2 sprites or
Yeah,
Fox's
Pit and Sora's.
SSF2 sprites?
But yeah, I've always had like the funny idea that like the setup, like in the same vein to what Jonathan just said, a funny like setup that I've always thought of is just that Luigi would be exploring a mansion and all of a sudden he comes across a room that's just has like a really old arcade. He puts in a quarter and he just gets like sucked into the game and like he's just like in the Pac-Man as like sprites. And then like I had like always had like this funny idea that like Pac-Man would like confuse him for a ghost. He would go to a corner, eat a power pellet, and then Luigi would just start glowing green. And then Luigi's just running away because he doesn't want to get eaten.
Yeah, just running around scared the entire time.
True to
Yeah.
Mario.
Sprites.
True to Mario fashion, it's an isekai at the end of the day.
Yeah, if they're gonna do like, sprites for this episode, I have full faith that Origin's gonna cook with this. Considering he's made a fan animation for this matchup before.
Oh yeah.
So like,
And he also made
did,
King Boo versus
right.
Gengar, so if you want to just like include King Boo, maybe like a sprite of Spooky from Pac-Man World 2, then like sure, fuck it, you can have him be like portrait ghost cameos. Why not?
yeah,
I
overall,
could see them
I'd say
being,
this
like,
matchup's
portraits.
pretty fun, and I cannot wait for it to whenever it becomes, well, a matchup. Considering this day and age in the Kickstarter era, anything's possible now.
What now? Do you guys think this matchup would need voice actors, or like do you think they could just use voice clips
Maybe.
for
If they
them?
want to, then just
They
for
could for
Luigi. I don't
Luigi,
think
but-
Yeah, I would
Pac-Man
say-
used to talk.
I don't
That's
think
so,
so
like,
Luigi.
We know he talks in some of the games, but
I
like-
need,
yeah,
I need,
like,
I need
details
Pac-Man's
on my
Pac-World
sec-
voice.
Details on my sector are between me and Miss Pac. Thank you very much.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
because that line that implies that they have like a massive sex life or something.
oh okay.
As for
It's-
voice
it's-
That's what I've
acting,
heard the line is supposed to mean.
Yeah.
I think
as
in a
for voice
similar,
acting,
or sorry,
no,
I think
you
in
can
a s-
go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say in a similar vein to like what I think it was Zio who was talking before about how like this match would be really good just to bring Luigi back because you know Luigi. It's been so long since he's been on the show and he did not have that good of an episode. But in a similar vein, I think it's also really fun to bring in a character like Pac-Man because Pac-Man, he's one of those characters who's just like he's one of the foundations that video games like started, and because of that, he's had so many bizarre like adaptations over the years, whether that be through like movies, TV shows, a ton of like video games that just give him like the most like just like bizarre of powers. It's basically like analyzing a cartoon character's like entire history, but like in that same vein, a video game character. And I just think that like Pac-Man's robust history would just be so interesting to see analyzed on a show like Death Battle.
He does give me Kool-Aid Man vibes, where I feel like the scale of how far his powers go would be very shocking. Because it's like, at first glance, I would assume that Luigi wins this, but without, I mean, honestly, who knows? Like, Pac-Man has so much history about him that he might have just this, like, crazy soul, like, destroying power to him. I mean, he literally
I think
eats
that's already
ghosts.
been found in
He eats
Pac-Man. I
ghosts,
think
so-
like there's been some crazy hacks already found in like Pac-Man Party.
Holy crap. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
that,
like,
yeah.
that debatably Luigi can't resist or like avoid.
So, good
And,
luck
like,
to you,
what
Luigi.
Though I do
Yeah.
also want to add real quick, like there are people who might think people are asking for this matchup, like just so that they can get a Luigi W, but for me it's the opposite. If anything, I've seen people like request this matchup because it's debatable, because it's close, because Pac-Man is so under-researched, and they think that they could make a fun fight and like interesting debate between him versus Luigi.
Yeah,
I'm just
and
like,
there's
and
also
well,
just
with- you can go. It's okay.
I
Yeah,
do think it makes sense to do a Halloween episode that focuses more on the trick side, the treat side of Trick or Treat, because
Yeah.
like they've
And
all
then
been like sort of like dark and like ooh spooky, but like
Spooky.
we need a spoopy one now.
Yeah, and it also just helps that these two are notoriously now known as the video game's equivalent of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
It's
And
pretty-
like what Behemoth said is like the Luigi and Pac-Man throughout the years have crazy amount of adventures, and they've changed over a lot in their span of worlds. Not just throughout their characters, but who they are as to other people. And in this sense, I could see this becoming one of the like most memorable death battles in a long time.
I could see it, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny that we were talking about animation potential. I honestly would love to see how Moro could like do.
I
this
was
matchup.
thinking that.
Holy
Yeah, I
crap.
was thinking about that.
Imagine,
Yeah.
cause like with how well he did Bowser versus Eggman, to see him do another Mario Jason matchup, it would be so fascinating. Especially since like we can point at Bowser versus Eggman and be like, he had like that brief moment of Shadow Mario, and I'm just like, yeah, like how much would he cook if he just like did one of the Mario Bros?
And we know he's very interested in doing a final rematch with Mario versus Sonic.
So Luigi versus
I think
Pac-Man
we all
doesn't feel
said this one
too
is
different from
ideal
it.
in sprites, and then we all just transitioned to, we should just let Moro handle this one.
Yeah, after how quick the turnaround for Deku versus Miles was, I don't blame people for just assuming Moro is a machine that can do no wrong.
I'm predicting this now as the series goes on. We're just like 95% of these matchups are going to be like, what if Moro were to do it?
Good luck to
except for one that I submitted, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Good luck to you, Moro.
Everyone.
Becoming Death Battle's next Torian is not an enviable position.
Don't worry, Moro. My matchups did not have you in mind. You're safe from me.
We at least know that he doesn't want to do Bendy versus Cuphead because he says that should be like a frame by frame hand drawn fight, not like puppet tools.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
All right, so Luigi versus Pac-Man, really good matchup. That one is certified trash, which is a good thing.
Is this our rating metric? Just if it's trash or not?
It's
good.
It's a trasher pass.
Trasher pass.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay, trash. Okay.
Oh, like raccoons digging from the trash.
Yeah, Yeah.
Okay,
If it's good trash, you eat it. If it's bad trash, you throw it away again.
One man's trash is another man's treasure, my friends. All right.
Yeah,
So speaking of treasures,
I should have put a Gotcha Good matchup in here. Didn't know that was the theme.
It's time for our next one. We got Dr. Doom versus Vecna.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I've
submitted
been
this
really
shit.
fucking with this idea lately because I've heard that it's a Doctor Doom matchup that actually focuses more on his backstory than like what makes Doom a villain.
Alright.
Yeah.
And like,
I'll
I was
submit
like,
it.
okay, sold.
Yeah,
Like,
Steve, I know nothing about D&D. I need you to educate me.
So, Vecna is essentially like, whenever you do a homebrew, like a module campaign, which is the campaigns they give you, Vecna has always been portrayed as the big bad. He's like the true final boss of D&D. And the main reason I want this matchup, yes, this plays with the backstory of Doctor Doom, and it's really funny, but it's just the fact that these two got so much shit you have to go through. Because, obviously, Doom becomes Sorcerer Supreme, he gains access to every spell. Vecna has access to every single spell and every single item in the history of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was about to ask, because like with D&D, it's like pretty player focused how the stories go. But you're saying the fact that he has access to everything, that changes stuff.
Yeah, he has access to everything.
It's based on the player's perception on their character on how Vecna's defeated. At least that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, Vecna is like a character that like, in terms of his material, will be probably one of the most complex to analyze. And like, I know like it's easy to say that like, oh, we've had Doom twice, we have like an idea about what Doom can do. No, absolutely not. Doom is one of the most cracked villains Marvel has ever created. He just with Lex, we got an idea. We had like a vague idea about like what his magic can do, because like that episode was definitely focused on like the more tech side of Doom, because like, you know, it fits with Lex. But like Doom's heritage and history with magic is so vast and just plentiful. And like Steve already mentioned it, Doom in the most recent like comic run has become Sorcerer Supreme, which even his past episode had mentioned that he was like considered. But like now that he's Sorcerer Supreme, the amount of magic that Marvel has, and like it's just so like it's like layered Marvel magic. It's like it's one that would definitely give Vecna a run for his money, and that's one of the best things about this matchup. It's debatability.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
always
and
felt like
also, it's
Dr. Doom is
surprising
yet
how
to.
how like none of Doom's previous episodes really focused on the magic angle at all beyond just saying he has magic. I mean, I guess if you want to count Vader versus Doom could have gone into that, but the fight animation very obviously did not. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
because
didn't sell.
I do feel like Dr. Doom is yet to be like truly like pushed to the limit in any of his episodes. So that
wait,
would
Doom actually got to
Right,
use
yeah.
taking magic. Never mind. There was a little bit of magic in there, but not nearly enough.
Like his time travel stuff, but I'm not sure if that counts.
And yeah, Doom only used like
that's his tech. Time travel's his
Okay.
tech.
and Doom I think only used like a magic hand in as a fight with Lex.
I do.
Yeah.
I do wonder
Well, I
how.
was gonna say his mind swap, but I'm pretty sure that's a technology
I
thing.
think it is tech.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
I do wonder how much how other D&D characters would be like viable for death battle, like
From core D&D alone, I'm just talking about the actual lore in D&D, not player characters like Grog and like Vox Machina.
mhm.
I was
It's-
thinking that, yeah.
It's Vecna, I think the I can't remember his name, but the Grand Wizard, and
He's called the Grand Wizard.
no, he's just a big. His popular opponent's Gandalf.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I call him the
Magister.
wizard.
I was just gonna ask about him.
And
Gandalf versus Magister, I believe.
Magister, that was his name. I can't remember. I play a lot of homebrew campaigns.
Cool.
And I think one of the dragons, Tiamat. But those are like the only like 3 ones. There was a popular one a long time ago that I think was a human warrior, but Vecna just got bigger.
Gotcha.
Vecna became more popular due to Stranger Things and Critical Role.
Yeah, I was
So-
gonna say,
Dead by
I feel like
Daylight
Stranger
too.
Things did
So-
a lot in
What-
boosting Vecna's credibility.
What exactly
Yeah.
is Vecna? Is he like a zombie or like wizard, or is he some other race?
Isn't he described as like a lich, pretty
Oh,
much?
wait. Gandalf's opponent is not called Magister. It's Elminster.
Oh, it's Elminster.
Elements.
Yeah,
I forget
Elminster. I said that wrong. Sorry.
Go on,
I forget
go on,
the
show us
specific-
your minster.
I forget the specifics about Vecna's background, but I think what makes him a good master for Doom is that he ties into like that same kind of like imperialistic, like nationalistic viewpoint that Doom has, in that, like, you know, Doom, his motivations aren't very tied to his upbringing in like his country of Latveria and his Romani heritage. Vecna is in a similar boat to Doom. And I think it's something along the lines of like he's like a lich, like he's like a
Becomes
leader.
Lich. He's
yeah,
the
he's
Arch Lich.
Yeah, he's like the ruler of the undead in D&D.
He was once he was a human king, and I forget exactly what happened, but he ends up becoming a lich. And I think it's implied that he has avatars throughout every single campaign. in
Oh,
Dungeons
wow.
and Dragons.
Yeah, because
Or
I
some
want
shit
to
like
say
that.
I
Wow.
want to say I read at some point that he has like like this thing that just keeps him alive no matter what.
Yeah.
But nobody ever knows what it is.
Oh,
It's
I'm-
the thing.
Yeah, I'm guessing that you would want to focus on homebrew D&D when it comes to research, as opposed to bringing in other stuff like Stranger Things or whatnot.
like it's got to be like the lore in the games, because that's already a lot to go through, because D&D's been around for so fucking long.
Oh,
And I think Vecna goes as far back as 2nd edition.
oh, I feel bad for the poor bastard who has to edit that segment.
Yeah.
A lot of Dead by Daylight footage. A lot. Of
Yeah, that's a lot of Dead by Daylight footage.
Maybe Vox Machina, because I think the next season will be out, and he's like the final boss of Vox Machina.
At least
Was
it's not.
it-
At least it's not
I
King
know
Arthur versus
D&D.
Beowulf.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know
yeah.
Vox Machina is like catching up with like or is gonna be tackling that stuff soon. So like there will be more footage. I mean, and granted, Doom has been having like a massive like resurgence in popularity, with like, you know, Marvel Rivals, and especially by the end of next year, the next mainline Avengers movie
Uh-huh.
called Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played by Iron Man himself.
Go watch Fantastic Four.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
actually
Yeah.
really
That
excited
was
to see
really
him
good.
in Doomsday. Dr. Doom.
I would just love it if, like, in the analysis for Doctor Doom, they just have like in his feats section just like started multiversal Armageddon against himself.
We've come. I feel like we've come a long way since 2005 of Dr. Doom being a CEO who uses a mask that was donated to him by the people of Latveria as an Easter egg.
Right. Yeah.
Or in Superhero Squad where he's like just like I don't know, a bumbling buffoon.
He's basically just G1 Megatron.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So thank you guys for teaching me about that one. That would be really cool to see. I'd love to. Dr. Doom is a very interesting character to me, so I'd like to see them tackle how he got to like that Sorcerer Supreme status, and D&D. Like, that's just an untapped well that would be cool to see Death Battle's take on, I think.
It is kind of funny that, like, probably the most likely D&D character is the most complicated.
Yeah, sometimes it do be like that.
Because really, if we're being honest, it should be, like, a character from Vox Machina. Either Stroll, Grog, or anyone else, but the most popular matchup is Vecna.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And that in and of itself,
Oh, hey.
is just like, I do not envy the person who has to research that.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if
if you're gonna have a complex character from D&D, might as well have him fight an equally complex character from Marvel.
2
Yeah,
years
sure.
It's a
at
massive
minimum
fucking
research.
franchise.
2 years at minimum needed for this matchup.
Death Battle. Why do you guys keep doing this to yourselves? so many Marvel characters this year. All
It's
right.
like Hulk versus Godzilla all over again. There's gonna be no G1 blog for this because there's just way too much material for both, and there aren't nearly enough people involved.
Have fun.
I'd say it's
Have
probably
fun with
worse
Cap
than-
versus Ichigo.
Yep.
It's
Have
probably worse
fun.
than Hulk versus Godzilla, funnily enough.
Yep.
It is.
Maybe.
I remember for the debate month where it was this matchup, we were talking about it, and
Right,
someone goes, "Wait a minute, why aren't we going over the items?" And I just respond immediately, "We don't have the time."
Yeah.
This is a
On
final.
the
This is a
DBJ,
final
we did-
destination Fox only battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
On the
true.
DBJ,
No
we did do
science,
this.
no magic, no abilities, only throwing hands. And
Just-
the finger laser!
Man to man. Okay. Well, let's see. Maybe our next matchup
Hey,
will be
what
a
if we
little
just
less.
make this fight literally just like dive kick where all they're doing is just foot dives to each other?
Well,
Dive.
I'm hope.
Dive.
It's like they're foot diving and they get higher and higher every time they hit each other.
Yes!
Yes. You fell for my time ship,
Just
Bob.
to say
No.
that's the multiverse.
Yeah.
Good lord. I'm already picturing it. Well, maybe our next matchup will be a little less complicated than that. We have a Jonathan matchup.
Oh hell yes!
I don't
Let's
know who either of these bitches are.
Yeah.
Please let me know what's
You don't
happening.
Know Terra?
I- yeah.
fine. Okay, this. Anyways,
Oh,
this
Terra.
I don't
is
know.
Terra
Sick.
Branford from Final Fantasy VI versus
Ooh.
Mila Maxwell from Tales of Exilia.
I haven't
And
played Final
yes,
Fantasy.
It is in fact pronounced Exilia. Like that, or at least that's how the English localization team has been pronouncing it. So that's why I prefer calling it like that. But anyways, I just love this matchup. And we were talking about earlier how every single matchup was like is gonna be a matchup we'd want to see Moro do. Though I said that there's one of mine that I didn't want him to work on. This was that matchup. Because I think Devil Artemis would absolutely cook with this. Like, just imagine Yoda versus King Mickey, but with Frieza versus Megatron sized attacks.
I
That's
see.
pretty much this matchup in a nutshell. Like,
Oh.
they're both
Okay.
like sword wielding spellcasters. I have a better term for that, but I'm too stupid to remember it. But they cast a lot of spells. There's a lot of sword play involved. You could even get summons in there since Mila is eventually becomes Lord of the Spirits, where she has access to who are dubbed as the four great spirits. You know, Ifrit, Undyne, Sylph, and Gnome for each element. And likewise, Terra is also fuck, I forgot what her species is again.
It's a Final Fantasy character.
No. She's a specific species. So what's it called?
I think it's
Yeah,
called
I'm trying-
human.
No.
No.
She's not-
She's like
she's
a
not
human
She's not-
hybrid,
Okay.
and from her father, who's like a specific magic entity. I don't remember what it is.
And so
Someone look it up for me while I'm
So
talking.
I'm assuming they have
looking it up.
I'm assuming they have 3D models. Was
Esper,
Terra
Thank you. Yes, Esper. Yes.
was Terra
Human
in
Esper hybrid, and likewise Mila also being like that would also help. Like just look at some of the spells from Tales of Exilia. Specifically, look at Sunburst And just tell me Devil Artemis wouldn't make a badass animation just from that idea alone. And of course, Terra is also able to call down a meteor storm and summon all sorts of other elemental spells of her own. And like, I don't think she's like known for summoning, but like, given that it's Final Fantasy and like they're known for having all sorts of summons, you could absolutely have them come into play. But thematically, this is one of the only Terra matchups I've seen that actually like surrounds the full extent of her character arc. You know how she was originally created mind brainwashed to wipe out the human race due to mind control from Kefka. But then eventually she breaks free from the mind control, joins a resistance group, and then vows to protect humanity, having seen the value of it. And likewise, Mila, similarly, was also manipulated by Lord Maxwell to, like, destroy all the Spyrexes, completely unaware that it was damaging a literal separate world. Like she was supposed to destroy the Spyrexes, which is important to the people in a separate world. I won't go too much into spoilers, but then she realizes that who she was is not who she thinks she was. Like, that's a really odd way of putting it. I swear I'm better at selling this matchup. but anyways, I think that plays off of Terra's backstory really well, especially when she eventually just like learns more about humanity through Jude, similarly to how like Locke Cole also and like various other members of the Resistance help her learn more about humanity, and then they see the value of vow to protect them, and then they end their games overcoming the very being who like manipulated them, and then decides to protect humanity with Mila becoming Maxwell, for instance.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Very interesting. I think if anything, like I can't really speak on like the thematics or like animation potential because I'm not really familiar with either games, but Terra, like it'd be nice to like Terra, just getting Terra as like a matchup. That's already cool because you know it's a Final Fantasy matchup that is not a character from 7.
Right.
Yeah, and like the team has expressed
from
plenty of interest in using Terra. Like I know that Kefka is more well known and iconic, but the team is still open to like doing a Kefka matchup and a Terra matchup. And so if I can get this one pushed, then like that would be absolutely incredible. Like to see Terra and Kefka, two of my favorite characters from Final Fantasy, alongside Mila, who's from like my favorite game of all time, from my favorite video game series ever. Mila is absolutely a great character, and I just love and I just love the comparisons between their stories. Love how they can play in an animation. It's just so fucking good.
Is it safe to say that Terra is the main character of Final Fantasy VI, or is she?
Yeah, essentially. Like Final Fantasy VI is relatively loose with which characters get the most focus, because they gave all the characters like plenty of screen time to where you could make a case for a handful being the main character. But Terra is often the one who represents Six's protagonist the most. Like she's the main character from Dissidia as far as 6 is concerned. She's always used as the poster child. She's the first character you encounter when you start the game.
Yeah, I
think it's safe to say Terra's the main character.
Because I know spoilers for a 3-decade-old game. There's like a halfway point where the plot essentially becomes we gotta get the band back together, and it's pretty loose.
Yeah,
like the order in which you do it.
Celis?
Yeah, it's Celis. It's Celis.
Like the order in which you get the band back together, I think, is up to the player, right?
Can you tell it's been a while since I played Final Fantasy VI?
I'm going off of my some call me Johnny knowledge.
Yeah.
And what you said about the animation, like I heavily believe Devil Artemis, with his experience with his brilliant choreography, I think he can make this into a very fun fight, just like how he did with Vader versus Obito.
I mean, even if you have them fight like Kingdom Hearts characters, that should be like, it wouldn't be exactly reflective of like of Tales series combat, but I'd still be fine with that because like they both can fly. There's plenty of like they both have aerial mobility. Like if you pay attention to Terra's playstyle from the Dissidia games, it's actually not so dissimilar to how Mila fights
I'm sure David could also be a help on the crew for that as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Which 3D model do you think would be ideal for Terra?
Well, probably well, I mean, admittedly, as far as 3D models are concerned, there is going to be like a visual clash. But for like a Terra's 3D model, the Dissidia NT model is like probably the best one to use.
Okay.
And with Mila, the Xillia models are great, but they don't exactly mesh as well with the Final Fantasy models. Admittedly, but I'm sure they can make it work. Like with good enough compositing, maybe maybe you'd have to create a custom model for one of these characters. But like as long as they're composited well and the other visuals are beautiful, then I think that's enough to overlook it.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Thank you very much for sharing this with us, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
All right. And with that, I think now's a good time to move on to the next matchup. Mysterio versus Scarecrow.
Okay.
The frauds.
Now, I actually have a bit of experience with this one, but not from a debate standpoint.
Right.
Let's just say from a fan battle perspective.
I may or may not have voiced one of these characters in a past Versus episode, and I may or may not have voiced the character that won too.
Yeah.
No, that was a really fun time. That was my first fan battle role, and I'm very curious if Death Battle would have a similar viewpoint on how it would go about. But let's hear what you have to say about it. Who recommended this one again?
It was me.
Dangerman. Dangerman, lay it down for us.
Well, I just think this matchup would just be just an absolute trip. The main thing about these two is that they are masters of illusion, but of course with Mysterio it's more like actual illusions, while with Scarecrow it's like fear toxin, where it makes you see like stuff that isn't there, like
hallucinations.
Hallucinations. Yes. So basically just the animation potential would be off the scale in terms of what they would be able to do with these two. And I just think the banter could also be pretty fun as well, because these two can have definitely differential personalities.
Very, very hammy in different ways. One's more creepy and the other's more theatrical.
Yeah.
Like that scene in Far From Home where like Mysterio is like just messing with Peter's head. Like just imagining that scene, but for an entire fight, it's super cool.
Pretty much everything with Scarecrow and Arkham Knight.
One of the coolest boss fights in a video game for sure. This would definitely make for good Halloween fodder, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
And I could see this being in a similar style as Simone versus Kyle. Like that way they can have like as much free reign over the visuals as possible.
Yeah, hand drawn with like different styles, so that it just makes it stand out on level, and also gets away with how crazy the illusions can get.
Because it could also work in 3D maybe.
Because where we are with the show now, suggesting more and more episodes like to be hand drawn like isn't as crazy anymore, because they basically said, we did Simone versus Kyle hand drawn because we wanted to, and because like they've gotten to a point in their careers where they can just like do that and like not have to worry about like time and resources getting too like overwhelming for them, because like they've been at this for so long. And 3D or hand drawn, I could see that working for this.
Do you want it to be a very fun climax? Sorry if you were still talking.
What would that be? What would that be?
I would like it for where like Mysterio, he activates his illusions, but he makes it to where he thinks Scarecrow has the upper hand, only for him to turn the tables on Scarecrow and then literally show his greatest fear, and it shows Batman beating the crap out of him, and then Mysterio just somehow, I don't know what the killing blow would be, but like I'm sure someone in here has an idea of it.
Yeah, find a way to get some hand to hand in there.
Yeah, since Scarecrow's biggest fear is Batman, at least what I've seen from the Arkham games.
I think it would be a funny kill, regardless of who wins, would be like if, let's say, like these two are like fighting in like an abandoned building of sorts, and like one of them is just like subjugated to like their greatest fears. Eventually, I think the kill could be like they get like pushed out of the building, and then like I don't know if you guys have seen Doctor Strange 2, but basically like the kill that they did on the alternate universe Strange, boom, just fall on like a spiked gate.
Yikes.
That's,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think I have seen.
That
I
was
think
that was
I
probably
have
one of the
that,
highlights of that movie. Their like
Yeah.
sort of musical battle, for lack of a
Yeah,
better
that's
word.
the Scarlet Witch.
Cool. Yeah.
Plus the Scarlet Witch part where she massacres the Illuminati.
Yeah, the Illuminati are frauds. We know.
Yeah.
They've always been frauds.
Yeah. All right. Mysterio versus Scarecrow. One of the few Marvel versus DC matchups that feel like left to do at this point. It's
You're right.
surprising to say we haven't had a
At least until
Marvel.
we can find more ideas.
It's surprising to say we
have
haven't had
Fantastic versus Terrific.
we haven't had one
Yes.
Since Silver Surfer versus Martian Manhunter. It's been a while since we
Yeah.
Is it
tackled this
weird that I
rivalry.
That's
missed
still kinda
Marvel vs.
crazy.
DC?
It's coming up on 2 years now.
Yeah.
Manhunter
Yeah.
versus Surfer.
Yeah.
Crazy to think that like it's so much has happened since then.
How far we've come. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and that is Mysterio versus Scarecrow. I'm still gonna root for my boy Mysterio. The fishbowl
Yeah.
never fails.
Fishbowl
And I
head.
think Mysterio wins anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. He does.
I would presume.
And
Yeah, something about him taking
Yeah, because
hits
like
from
he has
Spider-Man.
better protection from Scarecrow's toxins.
He's
ah,
literally
yeah.
wearing a helmet.
you can never defeat me. I came with glass protection. And now let's see what our next matchup is. Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
another Halloween one.
we
Bendy
go.
versus
We had 3
Springtrap.
contenders for Halloween episodes. Let's go.
Now,
Yeah.
Scary
Oh, wait, we're not even there
skeletons
yet.
that shiver down your spine.
Now I'm gonna say this right now. Springtrap has been on my radar a lot recently, especially ever since I watched that one recent fan animation somebody did for Chucky versus Springtrap, which is
Oh, yeah.
way more
Oh.
high quality than it has any right to be, and it just got me thinking, man, Springtrap is a really fascinating character. I'd love to see him on the show. Who is he gonna fight though? I still can't decide who I want him to like fight. So
To be a hater for a second, as long as it's not Junko, I'll be happy.
yeah. So
Yeah.
let's make a case for Bendy today. Why don't we?
The ink
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try my best here with this, but so bear with me. Okay. Bendy Trap is one of my most wanted, but it's more so for the fact, and also as the thing that we've talked about. It's like I don't like Junko Trap just out there, but with Bendy, okay, it's the weird thing with it. It more so gets more philosophical with them. It's the person who gets haunted in his suit versus the man or the monster. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's really
I can help you explain. I've learned a lot about Bendy lore.
yeah.
Go for it.
I'm more so invested. I like both of these characters a lot, though. Springtrap is my favorite FNAF character, and Bendy. I've been really wanting to play Bendy in the Dark Revival.
Yeah, for Bendy, it's basically he was created from Joey after Joey Drew Studios got run down and went out of business. Joey became furious, so he created his own version of the studio with Henry in it to torture him forever. Basically, he created his own version of Henry to torture by creating Bendy, aka this version being Demon.
Yeah.
Huh.
And this is the Bendy who we know and terrifyingly love. As for Springtrap, well, I'm just gonna tell you right now, if this ever happens, his whole analysis that video. But basically with Springtrap,
Sorry, you cut out. What did you say? His own
Yeah.
analysis is what?
It's like a map that video.
Springtrap's analysis is gonna be basically a Matt Pat video, pretty much.
Oh, could you imagine if
think it
they
would be
got him as a guest star?
I was about to say that. That would be funny if they they actually were able to get Mad Pat to come in and help do the analysis for Springtrap, like have him
And
be
just
like
be
a
like-
co-star.
Like even just to make a cameo,
Yeah.
Second
I love it,
appearance on
personally.
Death Battle, if you think about it.
it would
there's
be legendary.
There's
Yeah.
more to Bendy, because soon later on throughout Dark Revival, it turns out someone messed with the cycle. Basically, it's the it's basically like a universe reset of the Bendy Ink Machine world, and like basically Bendy's like revert to a childlike form to where he can only like turn back to his monster form if like he's away from like these certain spires that like nullify his powers.
Right. Yeah.
And then soon Audrey, the main protagonist in Dark Revival, soon has to find a way out of the loop and free everyone from the cycle. And that would soon even include Bendy in some certain way, of him becoming a bigger monster to sooner or later becoming something else. I won't spoil it because Dark Revival is like, I'd say it's an interesting game to like delve into, but like I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, I need to check these games out.
Yeah, I'm not really super interested in these games myself, but the matchup, on the other hand, I will admit, it could actually have a really cool vibe. Like if the fight takes place in like a dark hallway, and then it's less, and it's kind of goes into like a Carnage versus Lucy type of thing, where the fight is more like whoever gets the hit essentially wins, and it's like, I'm sure there are plenty of illusion powers to play. There's some regeneration. There's like, maybe there's some soul manipulation because Afton is like pretty infamous for that, at least in Versus.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
And the crazy
Like,
thing
I think
about
this could have like, if this were to be an episode, I think that it would be really interesting how it would be able to match like the constant looming threat that there's going to be something around the corner, like when you're playing Five Nights at Freddy's, or when you're like running away from Bendy, like the Ink Demon.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing with me, is that this is a very spooky relate. Like it can get very creepy at times.
Oh yeah. Knowing these games, in fact, I've even gotten jumped a bit times before from Bendy.
Yeah, and the other thing with this matchup is like it's kind of a contrast thing. With Springtrap, it's a monster who gets stuck inside of his joy, or like his creations, while it's with Bendy, it's the creation that becomes a monster. So that would be and that's also the big thing with this. It's the Ink Demon. And if you know like how FNAF's Pizzeria Simulator ends with Springtrap, it pretty much ends with him getting like, there's a recording, and with Springtrap it says, "Don't keep the devil waiting." Bendy would be the demon that he's waiting.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing.
That's so good.
The climax of the fight would have to be like they're in like a burning like building of sorts.
Well, the whole thing with me is that it would take place in the Ink realm. So maybe like as Bendy, because multiple people have debated this, and 9 out of 10 times it's Bendy who's winning this.
Yeah.
So like when Bendy's like killing Springtrap, maybe like a tape recorder plays the FNAF 6 tape, and as it ends with Bendy hearing, or Springtrap's line up, "Don't keep the devil waiting," and then that's how the fight ends, as he just gets ripped apart.
And the crazy thing about like the background of the whole fight, or at least where it would take place, is that in the Ink realm, like Bendy is somewhat immortal there, because like it's been stated from the game itself saying that Bendy's like the strongest being in that universe, and no one can kill him except for the cycle. Which, keep in mind, survived it, and then would just continue on with his day, acting like nothing's wrong.
The Ink realm is his domain. He has stated this multiple times, and pretty much the only way to kill him, quote unquote kill him, is by restarting the loop or the end cycle tape.
Now there's arguments to where if they would. I'm sorry.
Wait, so you're saying no matter who wins, the whole "I always come back" unironically plays a factor into the animation potential and the debate?
Exactly.
Okay, this matchup slaps now. It's absolute cinema.
That's exactly
what I was thinking.
Best for both. Best for both. Best for both.
Yeah.
I mean, but Dangerman, you were gonna say something?
I was basically just asking, wouldn't this technically be giving one of the combatants a home team advantage, or? No?
I mean, possibly, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure Bendy himself can enter the real. I don't know. That's one of the weird things with this matchup. It's kind of hard to.
I mean, he can go in the real world, but it's complicated. Like, they haven't really dive into that part yet, so we can't say much.
That feels like FNAF and Bendy lore in a nutshell, doesn't it? It's complicated.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly.
That's the big thing with this matchup. It's the research team trying to decipher all the extended material for these two and try to piece together like what the hell is going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And then I also posted a trailer and just in the normal chat
Yeah.
if you want to show it, but we don't have to.
Yeah, that I guess I will say for future reference, if you have trailers or videos you want me to play, send that to me before we start the recording.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
Well,
get it.
future reference.
All right.
All I could say confidently about Springtrap is that cosplays for him go fucking hard.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Why am I blanking on his name?
When I
The
was in-
regular song.
When I was
I've
in
seen
Dallas,
cosplays that-
when I was in Dallas for Nerdcore PartyCon, I saw 2 Springtrap cosplays.
Oh.
Fucking
They have a fight to
2.
the death.
Wow.
Well, and it's like
You
what?
have to have the ultimate Springtrap. There can't be multiple. There can only be one.
Because like one
Alright,
was
that's
one was at the
that's
concert, the
natural.
other was like among my friend group. So when we were at the concert, he was like, "What the hell? I wasn't told about this." So and it was up there singing Friday Nights at Freddy's songs with JT music.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
shit, GTA user, that's cool.
Oh wow.
And then, yeah, just like also like the final thing.
Freddy's.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
just like the final thing, fight potential or fight animation would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
It's-
3D is a
the
must, of
thing-
course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
3D.
3D or like admittedly Moro. Because
No,
of
it's
how
got.
well he- No, let me explain. Let me explain.
Moro's
With
just
how
gonna
well
be our
he
scapegoat.
animates Springtrap in Indie Cross and how he's just done Bendy in the past, it would be kind of cool to see it. But I'm fine with 3D at the same time. I'm perfectly
Yeah.
fine with it.
Well, I guess it would be 3D still if Moro did it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 All right.
it's just
The
I don't know how to talk about mine next.
Gotta keep
If
talking
it
about
does.
the aesthetic. All right. Next up, we've got Moon Knight
Oh,
versus
here we go.
Azrael.
Okay,
Here we
hold
go.
on. Fuck
Oh,
Moon
yeah.
Knight and Marvel Rivals. Fuck
That's
this
it.
bitch. I hope the moon never haunts.
L plus
Well-
ratio
Yeah,
plus
so-
get bench plus I'm a Moon Knight main plus fuck off fuck you plus you're a loser plus you suck
Well,
at the game, plus
Behemoth has us on this one. Please get us on track here.
I need to be a hater for a second. My apologies.
Please keep us on track here, Behemoth.
All right.
Alright, yeah. Credit to the thumbnail goes to my good friend Ninja Monkey. She's the greatest.
Nice.
But
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Moon Knight versus
love Ninja?
Azrael. This is probably one of my most wanted matchups. It's a good old-fashioned Marvel DC one between the two characters that I think a lot of people associate as being Batman knockoffs. But in actuality, like I think what this outside of Moon Knight just being one of my favorite Marvel characters, but what I think this matchup really shines a light on is just how in a world with like gods, monsters, and more gods, we have these two characters who are like very down to earth people who suffer from really traumatic experiences and like suffer massively from mental health issues, and yet despite this they still hold on to like a good sense of morality and always try to do the right thing. And especially since like despite the fact that like these two are like very like on like the more like street tier level side of like their respective universes, what this matchup really offers is like very strange esoteric stuff that like gets into like the absurd. Like obviously if you played Marvel Rivals or watched the Moon Knight show, you know that Moon Knight or Mark Spector is integrally tied to Khonshu, who's the Egyptian god of the moon. But for Azrael, well, most people I think don't know Azrael because he hasn't had much adaptations.
Poor
Like,
Arkham
literally,
Knight.
his
Yeah, outside of the Arkham games.
Yeah, no, that's not even the right Azrael.
Yeah.
The Azrael
Really?
that this matchup features is Jean-Paul Valley. He's a
Yeah, Jean-Paul.
Jean-Paul Valley. Yeah, he's a different Azrael than the one that you see in Arkham Knight.
Interesting.
And his whole deal, well, funnily enough, his first ever appearance was actually in Nightfall. That's the comic run where Batman gets his back broken by Bane.
Yeah.
He takes up
Right.
the mantle
Oh.
of yeah, he's supposed to take over the mantle of Batman in Bruce's absence. But basically, the point is that Jean-Paul Valley was a knight as part of an ancient religious cult called the Order of Saint Dumas, and as part of that, his brain is literally wired into a mental programming called the System, which originates from a mother box, aka
What?
the piece of
Really?
Mila technology that Darkseid and Lex Luthor use.
I didn't realize it originated from a mother.
Wow.
Oh my god.
It's crazy, yeah. Like it's just like overall just like shining, and I think overall just like what I really love about the matchup is that like obviously again Moon Knight's one of my favorites. He's just like a really cool character dive, especially as someone who's read Moon Knight comics. He's a really cool character, but also being able to shine a light on Azrael, like a character that again I'm pretty sure most people in this call don't know that much about because not that many adaptations, but just like giving him that spotlight. It's that same kind of thing of like seeing Kyle Rayner fight Simone on Death Battle, like this relatively more niche character in a vast world full of like so many iconic heroes. Giving this specific character a spotlight is just super fun in my opinion.
All right. Yeah, it would
Sorry.
be a
Now
good.
I'm
I think it would
more
probably be a good
interested than I
like
was before.
a good Kyle Rayner's situation of introducing a lot of people to a lesser known character. And
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm heavily invested more now into this matchup than I was before.
I could see this being
Yeah.
live action realistically.
Yeah, it would be good as
I'll
live
be
action.
completely honest. I don't know if this could be live action because Moon Knight's arsenal gets like absurd. Like I remember I pitched this matchup to Ben and Chad. Funnily enough,
Oh yeah.
Moon Knight is pretty much like the Marvel's magic equivalent of Batman.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
many
something like that.
crazy like esoteric powers. Like I think Moon Knight's probably most notable one is the fact that he can resurrect if killed, and his power literally comes from phases of the moon. So depending on like if there's a full moon or like a crescent moon, that will dictate how much power he has that night.
Whoa.
And he also has
And like he
a-
also has like summons, right?
Yeah, he can summon an army of mummies and werewolves. They were used in a
Wait, what?
it was used in it was like a plot point, like a relatively weaker Moon Knight run, but yeah, Khonshu can just let Mark summon like an army of mummies and werewolves that were used. To
Yeah, I
take
remember
over
hearing
the
about
world.
this in like a G1 blog that.
Yes,
Well,
I
was it
aware of that one.
G1?
Yeah, no, yeah, it was. I mentioned
Okay,
it.
okay,
You
yeah.
know what? Fair enough. Sprites might be better in that case.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
I like
We're
it.
really
I really
overdue
like it.
for a good Sprite episode because the last one was like
Ghost Rider versus Spawn.
Last
Yeah.
full sprite
Ghost
was
Rider
Ghost
Spawn,
Rider
yeah.
Spawn.
That was back in
February.
early March. So
Yeah,
like
that's
5
crazy.
months ago.
Freaking
I would
crazy.
say though, in terms of animation potential, what I really love about this matchup is what you can really like. I think just like going off of like what I was mentioning about Moon Knight, a lot of it also carries over to the animation because just like how the Death Battle preview established that like Hulk and Bruce Banner is one that has multiple personalities, like dissociative identity disorder. Mark Spector is exactly the same thing because Mark
Yeah.
Spector or Moon Knight is 3 different personas. It's Mark
Yeah.
Spector, that's the original. Then it's Stephen Grant, who is basically your wealthy playboy billionaire. I'm not even kidding. That's how it is in the comics.
Oh wow.
And then we have Jake Lockley, who is a regular
Jersey.
NYC cab driver.
Huh.
And so what I would really love the animation to do is like give each personality like a spotlight because they also have like their own distinct ways of like fighting. Like Jake is a more kind of like, like a New York style brawler. Meanwhile, Mark Spector, he's a trained mercenary. He's a trained mercenary who was I think in like the US Marines. And yeah, it would make for like a really cool dynamic, especially once you bring in Khonshu, because Khonshu also in the comics, he's very much like that kind of like that older sibling who just loves to stir trouble, but like if he has to be like the responsible one, he'll help out Mark Spector.
If one of your personalities has $1 billion, do you get to have $1 billion for as long as they're like in control?
Yeah, technically.
Wow.
The true
But it's-
questions.
But it's also just like the amount of animation potential, just of like what these two can do. Like Azrael, like going back to like what Azrael can do. He has a gauntlet that like shuts off your nervous system. He has a Batman armor that gives him like just like a shit ton of weapons. And like the system itself, like the way how the system works is that it wires his brain so that he has like the past experience of every Azrael prior to him. Incredibly impressive trajectory. I'm trying to think what's the word. Good trajectory with like his any projectile, so much so that he can like has such crazy accuracy and is able to almost like almost have like a spider sense of sort, in that he can predict oncoming threats, and also he has like a really cool fire sword. That's like it's really
Yeah,
the
cool.
fire sword is
Yeah.
really cool.
Who do you think would win
Batman
this?
on fire.
That is actually a very tough question because, in terms of like, if we were just viewing these two as like street level characters, there's a lot to be said how like Azrael is considered the pinnacle of DC street tiers. Like he's considered above like characters like Batman in terms of like physicality. So in that sense, he might have that physical edge over Moon Knight. But in a similar vein, Moon Knight's absurd arsenal, like just like the extremes that it can go to, like there's a reason why a famous quote that goes around for Moon Knight is "random bullshit go," because that's literally Moon Knight's main status in a lot of fights, just overwhelming his opponents with so much, just like random crap that he can like pull out of his pocket. And that's not even getting into then like how Khonshu, if Khonshu actively intervenes with the fight to like give Moon Knight like any like buffs, that could also tilt the favor in or tip the scales in Moon Knight's favor. But then again, Khonshu's reliance in the comics can kind of be like it's like up in the air sometimes. Like sometimes he'll hold mark, other times he'll be like, nah bro, you got this. So there's a lot basically it's a very complex debate, and I think that just really adds to like why it's so fun, because it's a matchup that has two characters who thematically really work well off each other, and has a debate that is just as fun as it is just like mind bending. Like what the hell, like these are two characters that like people again think are just like knockoffs of Batman, and yet they like dip into like such crazy extremes.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
to
these
think
guys
that people would
get crazy.
used to prefer Moon
Definitely a
Knight
little more
versus
sold on this
Batman.
Oh yeah, no, Moon Knight versus Batman, nah.
No.
No.
Get some
No,
fresh
keep
meat.
that
Get
away.
some fresh meat.
Oops,
Yeah.
I accidentally broke the no discussing alts rule that we had. Sorry about
Well,
that.
I'm
We
pretty
took-
sure we've already broken that before.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think for this next one, I think this could be our last one for this episode. Not necessarily this recording session, but for this episode. And then like I'll start a new recording right after it. A little behind the scenes for you
Alright.
guys. For our last episode of this episode, I fucked that up badly. It's Pit versus Zagreus.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
I have
another
not
one
played Hades, but this is my favorite Pit idea,
Hmm.
easily. Like with Pit specifically, it's not my favorite Kid Icarus matchup. I do want to point that out there, but
Fair
like
enough.
it doesn't involve Pit himself. So this is my favorite matchup for Pit. One of my favorite characters in fiction. Hell yeah!
Your
But
Pit-
I did not submit this matchup. Someone else
Yeah.
did, so they should talk
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, this is Behemoth again.
Okay.
Tell us about your
Thumbnail
pit.
Thumbnail
Your
made
pit.
by me.
Tell us about your pit pick.
Yeah, well, first off, credit to Huntimis. He created this thumbnail. It's really cool
Thank
looking.
you.
But yeah, similarly to Jonathan, I have also not played Hades, but personally, this is just my preferred for both. Because I mean, I think even if you haven't played Hades, I think one thing that you can associate with these two is that like these are two characters from Greek mythology inspired series, and like they use that as just like the benchmark for like what material they're working with. Once you get past that, the sheer amount of ludicrous stuff that these two have, like these two are essentially one-man walking armies with the amount of weapons and items and like enchantments that they have, that like it alone is fascinating to do just because of like the sheer amount of crazy animation potential that these two can like bring. And I think probably like it's kind of like what Jonathan was also saying, that like it's a really good matchup for Pit. Pit has obviously, been on Death Battle before. He's fought Sora, and like I think that episode is fine as is, but I feel like that episode really was just scratching the surface of what can be done for a Pit episode, especially not just in terms of animate, like in terms of like what he can do in like in terms of like, the fight, like combat, but also just in terms of like the interactions. Because if you played Kid Icarus Uprising, you know that game is all about having like the most out of pocket, like just fun interactions between Pit and other gods within the Kid Icarus universe. And so I would love if we ever got this as an episode, them to basically have that style, like the Uprising style of interactions between Pit, Zagreus, and maybe even Palutena. You know, it'd be nice to have Palutena like actually like play a part in play a part in like just in terms of like animation. Like I don't know if we would like factor in for like the debate, but just having her like be there as like another person to, like bounce off dialogue with, just like with Pit and Zagreus, that would be really fun to do. And I also like the also just like this is just like one last note. I love the contrast in the sense of like it's like an angel versus like a demon. I just like that like element to it.
Yeah, we love contrast
about the
in our
banter,
themes.
I feel like it's the most important like aspect of like any Kid Icarus matchup, really, except for like Dark Pit, who doesn't really banter all that much. So like you can have him fight like a silent protagonist or someone who doesn't talk a lot, and that should be fine. But like for characters like Pit and Palutena, you absolutely need that. And like Pit's peppy behaviors can like versus Zagreus being more dry and snarky with his banter. Like I think that's a very fun dynamic. And you mentioned Palutena, yeah, she could absolutely banter with like one of the gods that Zagreus is serving. I forget which one it is, and like before anybody says Hades, I don't know if it's that one, to be honest. Like I said, I've never played the game, but I know that Zagreus interacts with other gods, and like they like communicate with him. So I think that could also be a really fun angle. Though, like, the only concern is that as like, debate-wise, like, would the Palutena powers, like Black Hole, Mega Laser, and all the other unique abilities throughout Kid Icarus that don't involve weapons, would they be considered outside help? That's what I want to know.
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I think in terms of like the actual debate for the matchup, I think most people kind of safely say that Pit wins because both of them have like relatively like similar like ends for AP. Like there's a I think there's a feat in I forget what feat it is in Hades, but like it gets like I think multi-continent level. Pit also can get similar ends because he scales to a character named Arlon, who powered a moon-size battle station. So both of them have like roughly similar ends, but where Pit really just takes it is the fact that he has means in which he can like RNG his way to victory, and also he's just insanely faster than Zagreus. Like Pit's flying scales to Pyron, who is a fire dude that traveled across I think like an entire like solar system, or like he traveled an incredibly far cosmic distance in a short time frame, and it gets I think like millions of times faster than light, which far exceeds any speed feat that I've seen for Hades.
Honestly, even if Pit doesn't really scale to Pyron directly, his fight with Hades should mean that he can like scale to any of the gods' feats, so that's fine.
Oh right, yeah, because he also the 3 sacred treasures and possibly the great sacred treasures too.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, like, if you want to. Like, Deathbattle said, oh, but the Great Sacred Treasure was canonically destroyed. I mean, so were the 3 Sacred Treasures, yet you still let him use that, but okay.
Yeah, for 5 seconds.
Although, I do want to say, like, based on some talks I've had with Gumball Viking, Cosmic Kid Icarus Uprising might be back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like we've had this conversation years ago. Like he made a blog about this years ago that made a case for Cosmic Kid Icarus Uprising, so it could use another look. But I'm just saying it may or may not make a return.
The amount of mileage people are getting out of one 3DS game from over a decade ago is insane to me.
Hey, it's the best 3DS game.
We're all crossing fingers that it'll get like a remastered port to Switch 2 with mouse controls.
Yes, please. Please let it be one where I don't have to buy
I swear, with every new Nintendo thing, like, it just makes a bigger and better case for, like, a Kid Icarus port, I swear.
Oh.
It does,
like,
yeah. But
at first we all thought the Wii U was going to be the perfect place to bring back Kid Icarus Uprising because of the gamepad, but they were like, nah. And then they said the Nintendo Switch because it's portable, and then Nintendo was like, nah. And now we got the Switch 2 with mouse controls in before they say nah again.
We got Kirby Air Riders before Kid Icarus.
Yeah. But I think it just goes to show how, like, expertly crafted Kid Icarus Uprising was, like, by Sakurai. Like, it's such a, I think it's a classic. It hasn't even been around for, like, probably, like, more, it hasn't been around for 20 years, and I would still call it just a classic for just, like, how well done it is.
Yeah.
There's just, like, virtually nothing wrong with it.
I do like the idea of them eventually getting into a spat over the different gods' names, and Pit's like, I defeated Hades. This is no big deal. And Zagreus is like, wait, you what?
you defeated my dad? What?
Yes, sir.
Literally,
Yes,
how?
I love that. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of that one response where it's just like, say psych or whatever. Say psych now. I'm not psyching you guys out when I say we have reached the end of our first episode, Trash Picks Talk. So thank you all so much for joining us. Let us know what matchups you'd like us to discuss next time, and it won't be next time because we already know which ones we're talking about for the next episode. But be sure to stay tuned for the next video. Take care.
Yep. See ya.
See you later.
See you guys later.
Bye.
They just